Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and the Restless official 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Claire could be in a position to finally take out Audra, plus crashes Sally and Billy's big event. According to this week's Young and Restless preview, one couple in Genoa City may finally find love, while another receives a startling surprise from the guy known as Aristotle Dumas Kane Ashby. And is Holden going to reveal information that can drive Claire away from him or towards him? Daniel seems to be opening up to Tessa after confessing his emotions for her to his father. He compliments her for writing the lyrics to go with his tune after she helped make a song for his dad, and he eventually performs it for her. He assures her, "They are just as beautiful as you." Will she feel the same way about him? And how will Tessa's tumultuous romantic life be made more difficult by her ex-boyfriend Noah's return to town? Does Daniel have feelings for Tessa? Claire came to her friend Holden to try drinking for the first time after she refused to marry Kyle because she thought he was only trying to cover up his huge mistakes with Audra. Naturally, they also talked about Audra and what actually transpired between them in Los Angeles. Holden is afraid that the truth would alter Audra's opinion of him, so he comes clean and admits that what he and she did at the time was illegal. Will he reveal the truth and possibly provide Claire with the ammunition she needs to finally get rid of Audra? Victor asked Kane to help him take Jabbot from the Abbotts last week, but Kane declined his request without making any demands. Does Kane's interruption of their large party at Society, which isn't really a party at all, have anything to do with that? The killer secret of Holden and Audra, murder in LA. About Holden Novak's history with Audra Charles, Claire Grace Newman is curious. What precisely took place in Los Angeles all those years ago? Could they have covered up a murder when the young man implied that it was against the law? Let's discuss the upcoming events in the CBS soap opera as you continue reading. We do know that there was a relationship between Holden and Audra when he arrived in Genoa City. Audra once had to tell Nate Hastings about her past with Holden. According to the brunette, she was working for Tucker McCall when she found herself up against some formidable thugs by herself. Holden saved her somehow. That story looked to be lacking many details. Holden and Claire are now buddies. Although they currently have a platonic relationship, the young man has love feelings for the blonde. Nevertheless, Audra was unable to resist the need to pester Claire and Holden. Claire wants to know what happened in LA all those years ago with Audra and Holden. The man was evasive and didn't seem eager to discuss it. Then he said he was afraid the truth might make Claire feel differently about him. Could someone have been murdered by Holden and Audra? Even if it was self-defense, it is still illegal to cover it up. Holden has a deep affection for Claire. The male hasn't acknowledged how he really feels for the blonde. But he must have a terrible background, or he would just acknowledge it. People do, after all, develop and evolve throughout time. A murder, on the other hand, is very different, particularly if it was concealed. Holden doesn't appear eager to share every aspect with Claire, but Claire might become interested and look into it more. The blonde may even accomplish it with Newman resources. What will happen to Claire if she discovers the truth about Holden and Audra's past? Things could become fatal if Claire and Audra keep having unpleasant encounters. Perhaps there is a deadly secret in the brunette's history as well, even though Audra turned Claire against her by poisoning the Newman family. Would Holden's background truly frighten Claire away? Or might she use it to permanently remove Audra from the area? Claire could be in a position to finally take out Audra, plus, crashes Sally and Billy's big event. In Genoa City, the storm clouds never linger without thunder following close behind. And this week's Young and Restless preview promises an eruption of secrets, betrayals, and desperate power plays that could reshape the entire landscape. At the center of it all is Claire Grace Newman, the young blonde Newman family member who has been trying to carve out her own path while dodging traps set by adversaries, most notably Audra Charles. For months, Audra has waged psychological warfare against Claire, undermining her trust in relationships, whispering lies into powerful ears, and aligning herself with anyone who can elevate her position while stepping on someone else's. But what Audra never counted on was Claire's resilience, or the possibility that Holden Novak, the enigmatic man with a dark past in Los Angeles, might hold the very key that Claire could use to finally take Audra down once and for all. The fuse for this explosion is lit when Claire, already shaken after rejecting Kyle Abbott's marriage proposal because she believed he only wanted to use her to cover up his entanglements with Audra, turns to Holden in a vulnerable moment. For the first time, she agrees to try drinking with him, seeking both comfort and distraction. Yet the evening doesn't just unravel into light-hearted bonding, it becomes a confession session. Holden, who has been carefully shielding a dangerous secret from his past, admits that what happened between him and Audra in Los Angeles years ago wasn't just reckless or scandalous. It was illegal. His voice is hushed, his words heavy, and Claire feels the weight of his admission hit her chest like a stone. What could he mean? Did Audra and Holden cover up a crime? Did someone die? Did a murder take place that has been buried beneath lies, contracts, and blackmail? For Claire, this admission is more than shocking gossip. It could be ammunition. Claire has lived under Audra's manipulations long enough to know that simply accusing her of wrongdoing isn't enough. Audra always manages to spin a story in her favor, painting herself as the victim or the misunderstood woman who was simply climbing her way out of impossible circumstances. But if Claire can get Holden to reveal the truth, or better yet, gather proof of whatever crime Audra helped cover up in Los Angeles, then she would finally have the leverage to destroy Audra once and for all. No amount of charm, no whispered lies into Nate Hastings' ear, no desperate alliance with Tucker McCall could save her if a murder cover-up came to light. Claire knows this could be the endgame, and she could be the one to deliver the fatal blow to Audra's reign of terror. But the path to justice is never so simple in Genoa City. Holden is torn. His affection for Claire is evident to anyone with eyes, but he has never dared confess it outright. Now, with this dangerous past weighing heavily on his conscience, he fears that telling her the full truth will not bring them closer but instead push her away. After all, love is hard to nurture when it is suffocated by blood-soaked secrets. Yet Holden's hesitation could backfire. Claire is a Newman, and Newmans do not wait around for half-truths. If Holden won't talk, Claire could very well launch her own investigation into what really happened in Los Angeles, and with Victor Newman's resources at her disposal, she may uncover things Holden never intended her to know. Meanwhile, another powder keg is set to blow across town at Society, where Sally Spectre and Billy Abbott are set to host what's being billed as a large party, though insiders know it's less a celebration and more an opportunity to make a public statement about their relationship and business ventures. But just as Genoa City's elite gather, whispers stir that Kane Ashby is planning an interruption. Last week, Victor Newman propositioned Kane with a dangerous alliance, help him take Jabot from the Abbott family. Kane declined. But Kane has never been a man to simply walk away from opportunity or revenge. His reappearance at Society in the middle of Sally and Billy's big night raises questions. Is Kane there to crash their party for personal reasons, or does his interruption tie back to Victor's request? Could this night unravel into a confrontation that exposes schemes much larger than a social faux pas? And as the spotlight shines on Sally and Billy, another couple faces quieter but equally complicated turmoil. Daniel Romalotti Jr., son of the legendary Phyllis Summers, has been opening his heart in ways few expected. After confiding in his father about his growing emotions for Tessa Porter, Daniel takes the next step by working with Tessa on music for his dad. When Tessa pens lyrics to match his melody, Daniel is floored, not just by her talent but by the raw emotion she channels. He looks at her with a vulnerability rarely seen and tells her, "They are just as beautiful as you." The words hang in the air, trembling with the possibility of more. Does Daniel truly have feelings for Tessa? Or is this a rebound heart latching onto the wrong person at the wrong time? For Tessa, whose romantic history has been anything but simple, this moment could become another storm in her tumultuous love life, made all the more complex by the shocking return of her ex-boyfriend Noah. With Noah back in town, unresolved feelings could resurface, leaving Tessa torn between the past and the potential of something new with Daniel. But back to Claire, the central heartbeat of this unfolding drama. After her conversation with Holden, she cannot shake the idea that Los Angeles holds a deadly secret. She begins probing, asking Audra questions designed to trip her up, hoping her rival's arrogance will expose cracks in her story. Sure enough, Audra grows defensive, her polished facade faltering in ways that only fuel Claire's suspicions. Audra has always prided herself on her ability to outmaneuver her enemies, but even the most cunning strategist makes mistakes when pushed into a corner. If Claire can push just hard enough, She might finally see Audra implode under the weight of her own lies. The stakes only escalate as Holden wrestles with his conscience. Does he protect Claire by keeping her in the dark? Or does he risk losing her forever by confessing the full, horrifying truth? His attraction to her complicates everything, because the very thing that could bind them together might also be the thing that destroys them both. What if Holden and Audra didn't just commit a crime, but covered up a murder? What if the rescue story Audra once told Nate, about Holden swooping in to save her from thugs while she worked for Tucker McCall, wasn't a rescue at all, but a smokescreen for something far darker? Perhaps someone died that night. Perhaps Holden and Audra made a pact, sealing their silence with fear and guilt. If that's the case, then Claire isn't just playing with fire by digging deeper. She's walking into a minefield that could blow up her own future. And yet, the irony remains. This minefield could be the very weapon she needs to obliterate Audra. For months, Audra has poisoned Claire's relationships, turning the Newmans against her, whispering doubts into Kyle's ear, and treating her like collateral damage in her quest for power. But Claire has Newman blood in her veins, and if Holden's secret provides her with the evidence she needs, then the hunter could finally become the hunted. As these threads intertwine, the truth about Holden and Audra's Los Angeles past, Kane's disruptive appearance at Billy and Sally's event, Daniel's burgeoning feelings for Tessa amid Noah's return, the week ahead in Genoa City promises chaos. Secrets will come to light, alliances will fracture, and the question lingers like smoke in the air. Will Claire finally take down Audra once and for all? Or will digging into the past pull her under with the very enemy she hopes to destroy? Claire's war against Audra intensifies. The truth about Holden could change everything. As the dust settles from Holden's quiet confession that what happened between him and Audra Charles in Los Angeles was not just scandalous but downright illegal, Claire Grace Newman finds herself standing on the edge of a precipice. She's always known that Audra was dangerous, manipulative, and ruthless, but the idea that Audra might have blood on her hands, that she and Holden could have covered up a death, changes everything. For the first time in her young life, Claire has the kind of weapon that could finally put an end to Audra's reign of power games in Genoa City. But like any Newman, she must weigh whether using this information would destroy her enemy, or destroy herself in the process. Holden's dilemma, to protect or to reveal. Holden Novak has lived for years with the shadow of Los Angeles looming behind him, haunting his every step. Audra has tried to spin that past as one where Holden was her rescuer, but his guilt tells a very different story. Now, he's caught between two impossible choices. Keep Claire in the dark and protect her innocence, or confess the whole truth and risk losing her forever. His heart screams for honesty, but his head reminds him that the truth could damn them both. And so Holden wavers, offering Claire just enough hints to keep her curious, but never enough detail to answer the burning question. Did he and Audra kill someone in Los Angeles? Claire senses Holden's struggle, and that only fuels her determination. She has seen what secrets can do to families. Her own Newman clan has nearly been destroyed by lies time and again. If Holden won't give her the full truth, she's prepared to uncover it herself. And with Victor Newman as her grandfather, Claire knows she has access to resources that could dig into every dark corner of Audra's past. Claire's dangerous curiosity. The blonde Newman begins by planting subtle traps for Audra, asking her leading questions about Los Angeles. When did she meet Holden? How exactly did he save her from Tucker's thugs? Why did she never press charges against the men who supposedly threatened her? Audra, confident as always, deflects with sharp quips and smug smiles. But behind her polished facade, cracks begin to show. Claire notices the way Audra's eyes flicker when Los Angeles is mentioned, the way her tone sharpens when Holden's name comes up. Audra may think she can play her rival, but Claire is watching every move, waiting for the fatal slip-up that will give her away. At the same time, Claire can't shake her growing feelings for Holden. Though they've kept things platonic, the connection between them deepens with each shared glance and whispered conversation. For Holden, the temptation to finally confess his love for Claire is almost unbearable. But how can he declare his feelings when the truth of his past could turn her against him forever? The ghost of Los Angeles. What exactly happened that night in Los Angeles? Was it self-defense? Was it an accident? Or was it something far more sinister, a deliberate act of violence covered up under the guise of desperation? The audience is left to speculate, but the clues paint a chilling picture. Perhaps Holden and Audra encountered someone tied to Tucker McCall's shady business dealings, and in the chaos, a man ended up dead. Perhaps Holden stepped in to protect Audra, only to realize too late that saving her meant sacrificing their futures to silence. Whatever the case, one thing is clear: if this truth comes out, it could not only ruin Holden and Audra, it could bring the entire Newman family into scandal. Audra on the defensive. Audra Charles has fought too hard to claw her way to power in Genoa City to let Claire destroy her now. As she senses Claire's growing suspicion, she doubles down on her manipulation. She whispers to Kyle Abbott, reminding him that Claire turned down his proposal because she doesn't trust him. She insinuates to Victor that Claire is too naive to carry the Newman name with pride. And she leans heavily on her alliances, particularly with Nate Hastings and Tucker McCall, to ensure she always has backup. Audra knows how to play the long game, and she isn't about to let a curious Newman brat unravel everything she's built. But Audra underestimates the one thing Claire has that she doesn't: resilience. Claire has been burned by betrayal before, and rather than weakening her, it's hardened her resolve. She isn't afraid of Audra's mind games anymore. In fact, she's ready to turn them against her. The Society Showdown. While Claire and Audra circle each other in their private war, the public drama unfolds at Society, where Sally Spectra and Billy Abbott's big event is underway. It's meant to be a moment of triumph, a declaration that Sally and Billy are not only partners in love but also in business. The room is filled with Genoa City's movers and shakers, their smiles polite but their eyes watching closely. And then, Kane Ashby makes his move. His sudden appearance sends shockwaves through the party. Is he there to celebrate? Hardly. Is he there to sabotage? Almost certainly. But what makes Kane's presence even more electrifying is the question of motive. Did Victor Newman send him? Is Kane acting on his own grudges? Or has Kane stumbled onto a piece of information that could unravel the night entirely? The interruption is perfectly timed, leaving Sally and Billy scrambling to keep control of their narrative while whispers ripple through the crowd. Claire, present at the party, sees an opportunity. With all eyes on Kane's disruption, she watches Audra closely. If Audra is rattled, if she slips even slightly, this could be the moment Claire gains the upper hand. Daniel and Tessa's complicated dance. Meanwhile, in the shadows of the larger chaos, Daniel Romalotti Jr. and Tessa Porter navigate their own emotional minefield. Daniel's heartfelt compliment, that Tessa's lyrics are as beautiful as she is, hangs heavy between them. It's more than just a line, it's an opening. Tessa, caught between her loyalty to Mariah and the sudden re-emergence of her ex Noah, is torn in three directions. The safe choice, the nostalgic choice, and the dangerous new possibility with Daniel. Daniel's sincerity is undeniable. His vulnerability, his willingness to open his heart, draws Tessa in ways she didn't expect. But Genoa City doesn't forgive love triangles easily. If Tessa leans into Daniel's affections, she risks shattering her relationship with Mariah. If she pulls back, she may crush Daniel's fragile hope for a second chance at happiness. And with Noah back in town, stirring old feelings, the love quadrangle is poised to explode. Claire's gamble. Back in the thick of the Newman-Audra war, Claire makes a bold decision. If Holden won't talk, she'll investigate herself. With Newman resources behind her, she begins quietly pulling strings. Private investigators are hired. Old police records in Los Angeles are combed through. Any whispers of unsolved crimes or mysterious deaths from the time Holden and Audra were there are scrutinized. And slowly, pieces begin to form a pattern. A man, connected to Tucker McCall's shady business deals, disappeared without a trace. Rumors swirled of foul play, but nothing was ever proven. Could this be the skeleton Audra has been hiding in her closet all these years? As Claire digs deeper, Holden notices. He pleads with her to stop, his fear etched into every word. But Claire is relentless. If you want me to stop, she tells him, her voice steady but cold, then tell me the truth yourself. Holden's silence is damning. A fatal collision course. The week ends with the sense that all roads are converging. Sally and Billy's party has been thrown into chaos by Kane. Daniel and Tessa's connection deepens, while Noah lurks in the background. Holden's guilt and Claire's determination threaten to expose the darkest secret Genoa City has seen in years. And Audra? She can feel the walls closing in. If Claire gets proof of a murder cover-up, Audra's empire will crumble. But in true Genoa City fashion, taking down an enemy often comes at a steep price. Will Claire sacrifice her budding connection with Holden to destroy Audra? Or will Holden finally step into the light, risking everything, including Claire's love, to tell her what really happened in Los Angeles?